If salt rings can protect you from demons, what do pepper rings protect you from? If a pirate dies at sea, does his ghost sink to the bottom of the ocean? All of these questions you can find the answer to on this Paranormal Life! Hello everyone and welcome back to This Paranormal Life, the comedy paranormal podcast where every week we investigate a brand new paranormal tale, case, claim, beast, ghost, demon, poltergeist, whatever it is, and come to a conclusion at the end to decide once and for all whether or not it truly is paranormal. Whew! That intro feels like it gets a little longer every time we do it.
You doubled it. It isn't that long. You doubled it.
I feel like every time we do it, it adds like another second, another 2 seconds.
That felt like one of those ads for like one of those American ads for a lawyer. It's like, have you been hit by a car? Hit by a fridge?
Oh, yeah.
Hit by a piano, like a Looney Tunes character? Have you been, you're like, we get it, the paranormal. We don't need to necessarily go through every single phenomenon.
I thought you were going to say it's like one of those American medicine adverts where right at the end they sneak in all the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, are you feeling sad? Take hypoglycerin. That might actually be a real thing, I think.
Happy-go-luckerin.
Happy-go-luckerin. Yeah, it's a new medicine. You take one a day and all of your problems will go away. And then right at the end, they're just like, happy-go-luckerin may cause heart to explode and penis to fall off of body and launch into space. You're like, what was that stuff about my dick? Nothing. You'll be so happy you won't even care.
It's always like stuff you didn't even know was possible.
Yeah.
Like bleeding out your ass. Like stuff that is like, are you even allowed to say that on TV?
Right.
Like that is.
Because I don't care how good the pill is. That will make me sad.
They need to learn the first rule of show business. End on a high note.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, we should kind of lead with all the potential pitfalls. But then be like, but by the way, it'll cure your depression.
Yeah, like the ad starts and like immediately before you even know what it's for, it's like, if you take this, your penis might explode. Welcome everyone. Hey, are you feeling a little down in the dumps recently? Yeah, I agree with you. And that's what we do at the start of the podcast. We get all the details out of the way. My name's Rory. This guy's Kit. I don't even think I said that part.
You did.
But I get that out of the way so we can just dive right into the story.
Okay, I like it.
And that's what we're going to do today, because today we're actually responding to a listener submission, one from Tracy Werner, who posted this suggestion in the This Paranormal Life Facebook Secret Society.
Ooh, a good place to post something.
They posted saying, possible topic for the boys, St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Back in the 70s, there was a poltergeist incident at 237 Church Street.
Ooh, this is a good kind of old-fashioned movie-style tip-off.
Yeah.
I like to think that they might have even kind of called this one in a payphone in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
I got a tip for the boys.
Yeah. It's like, wait, who is this? I've said too much. Hang up the phone, yeah. I mean, immediately, my curiosity was piqued because do you know how bad a poltergeist has to be to start haunting people on Church Street?
Yeah, I was kind
You're
of...
in
as soon as
enemy
you said
territory.
St. Catharines, my interest was piqued. I was going, okay, is this an exorcism? What could it be?
Yeah. A ghost appearing in St. Catharines, Church Street, Godsville. That's insane. That ghost is flexing.
I think that's a case of the street doth protest too much. If you're going into that much effort to brand, to kind of do the old landlord special, kind of paint everything over with white paint, make it look real holy. What are you covering up?
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. If you're calling it Jesus City, that place is going to be pretty dark. I'm calling it right now.
This is where we're at the gates of Bethlehem, in the Middle East.
Hey,
what are you hiding, guys?
Can I get into Jesus City? I was a pretty bad guy on earth, but I hear y'all are pretty forgiving. But before we dive in, of course, just a reminder that you can get every episode of this podcast ad-free over on patreon.com/This Paranormal Life.
Sorry, I don't think I clinked my bottle enough just then. Sorry, do you want to take another go at that? Patreon, I don't know if you heard Rory that time. Patreon.com. Sorry.
I think they probably heard it fine the first time.
Patreon.com/, what'd you say?
This Paranormal Life.
You sure it's This Paranormal Life?
Absolutely sure.
It's not TPL or something?
Nope, This Paranormal Life. Patreon.com/This
on
Paranormal
account
Life.
of the bottle, I just couldn't make it out. Ad-free episodes and tons more stuff over there.
The year is 1970, and we're on Church Street in St. Catharines, Ontario. Police officer Bob Crawford was on patrol when a call came through the radio.
We have a 148 domestic disturbance at Church Street. Officers available. Please respond.
Officer Crawford grabbed his radio. Roger that, dispatch. I'm on my way. He arrived at the scene, dealt with the disturbance, and went to return to his police cruiser. But before he could open the door, a woman frantically approached. She was from the house next door and looked as if she'd seen a ghost. Officer, if you have a moment, would you be able to help me?
What seems to be the problem, ma'am?
You're gonna want to see for yourself. Bob cautiously followed the woman into her apartment, and upon opening the door, he knew immediately something was wrong. The place was a wreck. Furniture and objects scattered across the floor.
What the hell happened here?
Officer Crawford, do you believe in ghosts?
All right, just slowly back out of the house, Officer Crawford.
You technically did your job. You were here for the house next door. This is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
There's still time to just kind of walk away.
Stranger danger still applies to policemen. Policemen still have to worry about stranger danger sometimes.
Yes, you absolutely do. Unfortunately, I think you are supposed to, what is the police motto? Serve and protect?
At least in America it is. Aren't we? Where are we? In Canada?
That's true, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's still chance to just turn off the body cam. Leave the house. Say you never got the call.
Whoa, no one said turn off the body cam. What are you saying?
Because then, inevitably, when this family gets haunted to death, they're going to drag out the footage of you slowly backing away from the haunted house. And that's not going to look good on camera, is it? The woman told Bob her story. Many days ago, herself, her husband, and 2 sons started experiencing strange activity in the house. Specifically, objects moving around by themselves. And we're not talking about cups and plates here. An entire chest of drawers had been thrown on its side in the kitchen.
Wow.
These ghosts are whipping out WWE-style power moves in the house.
And this is really great to hear this kind of so early in today's case, because I think we had to listen through about 3 parts of the Enfield haunting to kind of get to furniture moving.
Yeah.
I think I kind of teased it out for a lot longer than this.
It usually does start small. Usually it's like a candle blows out, or a cup drags itself across the table.
Yeah.
I think we're more than 10 days in at this point when they've had to get the police involved. So already they're probably throwing children through tables.
Yeah, really sticking with the WWE theme. Yeah, ghosts and poltergeists tend to have a kind of Hollywood sense of pacing normally, don't they? They don't tend to go in 0 to 100. They kind of start drip feeding little breadcrumb trail.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I could have sworn I left the cup there right next to the saucer, but yet it's 3 inches to the right. I didn't. And then,
Start
like
slow.
you say, 2 weeks later, they're, like you say, choke slamming your son off kind of the banister of the staircase. That would be really funny if they just went 0 to 100. They just drop kicked an old lady down a set of stairs.
I like to think of it as, it's like dating, whining and dining, you know? They start slow, little messages, just getting to know each other. Then the first date, what is that? Possibly a cup moving, a plate being tossed, eventually building to some sort of big climax. If the ghost appears with a vibrating dildo and a set of edible underpants, they've gone too far too fast.
Yeah.
You know, that's at least 3rd date.
Yeah. Like
You know?
that might work in Berghain, but not in most people's homes.
You gotta start slow and work your way up there. So at this point, they're a couple dates in with the ghost, it's safe to say. Well, Officer Crawford was sympathetic, but he really didn't know how to help.
There's not much I can do, but let me see if there's someone I can call who might be able to help.
So he took out his phone and called a local priest to see if he could come to the house and assist them.
I'm having a spiritual issue here at Church Street, Father, and I wanted to know if someone from the clergy could come over and help.
The priest replied,
Oh, I already know about that place. I went to that house earlier this week. Oh, so it's nothing to worry about? Nothing to worry about? My dude, I saw a bed crawl across the room like a spider.
It turns out the priest had already visited and witnessed paranormal activity himself firsthand. We are coming into this story late, Kit. People have already been in and investigated this site. But he agreed to come back to the house and try and comfort the residents while Officer Crawford was there.
It really sucks that priests have to deal with this. You know, we've said it before, they are kind of weirdly the first line of defense against the paranormal, and especially in historic tales. They didn't get into the clergy to do this, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that kind of like part of the responsibilities where they're like signing you up? They're like, look, it's mostly just going to be like kissing babies and shaking hands, spreading the good word of the Lord. Sure, occasionally, once in a career, you may have to Dragon Ball Z style battle spiritually with a demon from another realm. It may last days, it may last years. You may take it to the next life. You might not be able to get into heaven because you guys are still fighting at the pearly gates. Well, we don't know. You just got to bear that in mind while you're signing up, you know?
Do you see Father Plunkett over there? He's bent in half like Quasimodo. It's like, he has so many demons on his back, literally. He can't stand up straight.
He's 19 years old. But the ravages of the fight have turned his body to dust.
Yeah, you think it's going to be all christenings and baptisms, and as soon as you pass priest school, I guess that's what it is. They give you a Dirty Harry style revolver. It's just filled with holy water. It's a little water pistol. Like, you're going to need this.
Yeah.
Never be seen without it.
I guess there's not many jobs like that where it should be calm for your entire time, but there is a 1% chance it's the scariest job alive. Maybe it's like being the guy who's in charge of sewer maintenance in New York City. And it's like, look, I know that we said the job was mostly going to be just looking after the tunnels, making sure the sewage system is flowing properly throughout the tunnels of the city. But like, we don't know what happened, but a rat has trained 4 turtles. And they're actually pretty good at martial arts now. And they kind of live down there. And they're mostly doing good stuff, by the way. They're mostly taking care of crime. But the mayor doesn't trust them. They're unregulated, and he slides a gun across the table. We need you to shoot Raphael.
What happens? He's the leader of the pack. No, you can spare Michelangelo. He's just a party dude. But Raphael has to go.
You're going to want to bait them with this pizza. All right? And then when their back is turned, shoot Michelangelo in the back of the head. Because they're pretty good at martial arts. But turtles, famously, the head's like made of marshmallow. The shell is hard. Don't shoot the shell. You need to kill the leader with a gun.
And I know they can be pretty hard to spot because I know they wear like a little like bandana around their eyes. So they look human. They look fully human. No mistaking them. But I like the detail of they're pretty good at martial arts. The guy's like, yeah, I did like 3 years of judo and they had me on my back in like 3 seconds flat.
It's like, aren't they turtles? They're barely turtles anymore. They're, for all intents and purposes, they are men. They are strong men. The turtle part of their DNA is gone.
Did I mention the rat is Japanese? Don't ask me why.
We don't know why.
We have no idea.
Yeah, this does happen. There are a lot of careers that should be boring, but sometimes can be very dramatic, including, I assume, being a priest in the Catholic Church. And that's what happened. This priest, even though he has been to the house before, agreed to come back, if not to solve the problem, to at least comfort the residents in this difficult time.
Rory, this is incredibly topical. We're talking about what it would be like to be one of these priests. We were sent this. If you're watching on youtube.com, you can see that I'm holding up to the camera.
Boom.
Something was sent to us by Father Biff, one of our rare clergymen in the commune. I'm sure there's some.
That sounds like a character that a fictional one we'd make up. Father Biff.
Yeah.
Who listens to the show. He's like a priest, but also a bully. But this is real. And he sent in a rite of exorcism book.
Rite of exorcism. And then it says,
very cool.
The back says, the Roman rite of exorcism for authorized Catholic priests.
There you go.
And it is, we've mentioned before, worryingly, this book is filthy. It is. Now, I don't mean the lyrical content. I'm not, like this is an Eminem record. No, I mean it is. It looks like it's covered in blood.
That actually might be blood. I actually don't like
Stains
having that in the studio, or maybe I should like having it in the studio. Jury's still out on that one.
And it's like a bunch of. It's basically like from what I gather, it is kind of selected ambient works, except it's the selected exorcist works of the Bible. It's just picking out all the kind of prayers against maleficence, prayers against evil, prayers again, trying to, it's creepy stuff, bro. But
Can you imagine if you were like, yeah, it's so cool. I mean, check out this chapter. You start reading it and I burst into flames.
it takes like 2 words and you're gone.
You just read, Our Father, vomit starts spewing from my mouth. Yes, it is very cool to have that. We might need it by the end of today's story. Well, when the priest arrived at the house, Officer Crawford was in the middle of trying to calm down the incredibly distressed residents in the kitchen. All right, look, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna get through the... Oh, look, the priest! The priest is here. Now we can all figure this out together. But before the priest could even open his mouth, the group heard the sound of footsteps stomping through the living room. Who else is in the home right now? Officer Crawford asked. No one, the family replied. Bob drew his gun. I mean, probably not, I don't know, I'm just thinking. That's what I would do. When he entered the room, he noticed that a random chair had moved all the way from the table at the side to the center of the room. The priest leaned in towards Officer Crawford. This is the kind of shit I was talking about.
The priest went, I'm gonna go get coffee. Anyone want coffee? They're like, hey, you know what? I would take one. The door's just swinging.
I don't know why. That's the last thing I want is for a priest to lean in and whisper something to me. There's no context where that should be something that needs to happen. All of a sudden, the silence was interrupted by the doorbell. Oh God, what is it now? Officer Crawford threw open the door to find his backup, Constable Bill Weir. Hey, how's it going, Crawford? Dispatch says you need backup on a domestic disturbance. Now, Crawford probably should have just told Bill to go home, but at this point, they figured they needed all the help they could get, so Crawford caught him up to speed, and Bill responded, Oh, the hauntings? Oh yeah, I know, I've been here already. Bill Weir said that he'd visited the apartment once before, when nearby tenants had reported strange occurrences coming through the walls. And fair play to Bill, he actually went far enough as to contact the engineering department and the gas company of St. Catharines, who inspected the building but could find nothing to explain the noises. So it seems our protagonist today, Crawford, he's coming into this thing later. He thought he was the person discovering this case, but they've already brought in police and a priest before to investigate it.
Makes sense.
He's kind of catching up. Unfortunately, neither Bob, Bill, or the priest were any help that day. In fact, not only could they not stop the paranormal activity, they themselves witnessed it firsthand. They reported paintings swinging on the walls, bowling trophies launching across the room, and chairs levitating from the floor while people were sitting in them.
Goodness gracious. I can't say I am surprised that kind of a demon or poltergeist, presumably by the name of kind of Beelzebub or Ezekiel, could be stopped by guys named either Bill or Bob.
Yeah, you gotta have a cooler name than that for sure. Yeah, this is wild. I mean, I like that this is happening to police officers in today's story, which are few of the people in this world that even in the 1970s had to keep very strict written records of kind of everything that they do on a daily basis.
Right.
So that kind of helps us a lot today. But to be honest with you, there was so much insane shit that they claimed they saw in this house. I'm just gonna list some of it off right now for us. They said at one point a sofa with 4 people on it started floating. When one woman on the sofa realized that she was essentially flying, she fainted.
Wow. Believable.
4 people? 4 people floating on a sofa across the room? You're not like catching that out of the corner of your eye. That's happening.
Yeah.
That's insane. They said an invisible force shoved a boy up against the wall multiple times, and when he tried to sit by one of the police officers, quote, an unknown entity tried to steal the child.
Whoa, not cool. Pick on someone your own size. I like that he was trying to sidle up to the policeman, get a little bit of protection. They're like, that bag of meat can protect you from the spirit forces.
I know. It's also such a terrifying description of because what does that even mean? the boy was like getting pulled in a direction or something. An entity tried to steal the child. That sounds like a portal opened to the nightmare realm, and like a hand came through it and grabbed the boy by the ankles. Terrifying stuff. Apparently, it took multiple police officers just to stop him from floating away.
What? All
This
right.
is this is some Willy Wonka shit. He's like floating up into the ceiling.
Rory, I can't wait to see the presumably reams and reams of photos that were documented
Right.
that day, because if stuff is flying left and right and center like that, we are, I mean, Jesus, in the 70s, we're in the heyday of film photography.
Yeah. Still no phones though. Still no phones,
consumer
like you said.
cameras
Yeah.
everywhere. I even own a number of cameras from the 70s, and they are brilliant.
I don't think
Easy to use,
Mm.
picture perfect.
I don't think it was regulation at the time. That wasn't part of like an officer's loadout. Was a camera, you know? They were pretty stacked already with like the nightstick.
But there was other
An
people.
old-timey
There was
gun.
like a family
But there was a priest.
and a priest.
In those robes, those things don't even have pockets. He's already holding onto his
So
wallet
that's
and
why
his
you got a
keys.
strap for the camera. You put it around your neck.
So-
Anyone
well, no,
can
because
use it.
the strap would interfere with the little thing that they have. The little thing that they have.
What are you talking about?
The little thing that priests have. The white collar.
Mm,
I don't remember what that's called.
yeah.
The holy tie.
I can't remember what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I'm just saying, don't be disappointed if we don't have photo
so you're
evidence today.
You're saying
Listen
if
here.
we don't have photo evidence, it's because the priest's little collar would have gotten in the way.
Hey, mother.
All right. Hey, cool.
Look, all I'm going to say is, look, when the entity comes for your child,
Yeah.
you won't be reaching for your camera.
I'm just
You'll
saying
be reaching for your daughter's ankles.
it's been
All right?
it's been 10
And if you came to me
it's been 10
and
days.
said
It's been like a week and a half.
a night beast tried to grab my daughter, I wouldn't say, where's the photos? Where's the photos then if the
Yeah.
night beast came for
It's
your
just
daughter,
like-
Cora?
It's yeah.
You know?
It's just
That'd
if
be
you
kind of
tell
rude
me,
of me, actually. To,
if you
to
tell
ask.
me that there's like 5 people floating on a sofa like turbo tours and there's a bunch of witnesses, it's been going on for like a week and a half. I don't know.
An old lady fainted because she was flying through the air on a lazy boy. Yes, look, there might not be a lot of photos today. I do have some other exciting evidence.
Maybe I shouldn't have shit on the Enfield hunting so quickly because
They had photos.
It was slow to get going, but they did have photos.
The photos of that case are so shit. I hate that that's the case that is like one of the most famous poltergeist stories, because I think we investigated and we were like, it's obviously a double no. The children made it up. The photos of them floating through the air are just like children jumping off a bed, getting their photos taken. Like it's not good. It's not. There's a ton of better hauntings out there in the world, including this one that you're hearing today.
Really, really remains to be seen, but let's keep going.
Eventually, police were able to deduce that the young boy seemed to be at the heart of the poltergeist activity.
Classic.
For example, when the 11-year-old walked through the apartment, pictures on the wall, quote, swayed in the same manner as a dog wagging its tail when it's happy to see its master. And I know that this does sound insane, but this is what the officers and the priest and the family said. And I can back that up because, Kit, I actually have a copy of a police report filed by Bill about what he witnessed in the house that day.
Okay.
Check this out.
Okay, I am looking. Okay, February 10th, 1970. It's a bit fudged. Yeah, February 10th, 1970, 237 Church Street. This is cool.
This is cool.
This item is not for press. Too late for that. I attend good start, spelt wrong. I attend this residence at the AM time.
That's how they
First
say it in
call.
Canada.
I attend this residence. And then block capitals. While I was there, I witnessed some phenomenal occurrences, which I've attached to this report. I proceeded to the residence with PC Crawford, where we again witnessed some very unusual things taking place. My only solution to these occurrences that the boy Peter, whom all the occurrences surround, has been inhabited by a spirit
This is a real police report.
of poltergeist. There's a word that I can't make out. I assume because this is a typewriter, there's just like you make mistakes and you can't go back and fix them.
And it's quick as well. It's like shorthand.
This is a spirit, he goes on, which inhabits the body of a young child about to enter the phase of, quote, puberty. Real kind of subtext there that the boy. It's like, yeah, he calls it puberty. I've yet to see a single pube. Anyway, moving on. and has been described as a mischievous spirit that does not generally seriously harm anyone. People who have witnessed these occurrences are PCs where Crawford, McNamanon College, and other PCs have attended. Okay, so it's like a bunch of witnesses.
There's a lot of witnesses.
Briefly, this boy can't sit on a chair without being thrown off. And items are hitting him for no apparent reason.
Okay, so it is hurting a child. I think they just said it didn't hurt anyone.
I, the writer, witnessed the boy being thrown on at least a dozen occasions, including while I was there with PC Crawford. Attached is detailed report and witnesses' names. I mean, very big claims.
Yeah.
I like, let me just say before we sign off, I like it mentions here at the top, along with the date and so on, it says, time of incident, 7 p.m., still going.
I might be wrong, Kit, but this feels like one of the first times we've ever had an actual police report used as evidence in a paranormal story where you can read it kind of verbatim what the officer saw on the day.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of times this stuff isn't released to the public.
Yeah, probably takes a certain amount of distance from the case and time for it to be made public. But we're lucky with this one.
I mean, what's wild is, as you saw at the bottom of it, by the end, there was like 5 or 6 policemen who had come to the house and witnessed paranormal activity.
Yeah, it feels pretty unequivocal what they believe they saw, for sure. I mean, he mentions seeing the boy being tossed a dozen times at least, which is...
I think they said he struggles to sit on a chair for more than a second.
Without being thrown, and items are hitting him for no, quote, apparent reason.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes these are the barriers to proving a paranormal case. Okay, at the top end, we've got the kind of absolute objective proof that something happened. We're talking primary evidence, physical evidence, things like that. But below that, there's kind of a secondary and yet important bar of paranormal evidence, which is that the people involved at least believe what they saw. Now that sounds simple or trite, but that is actually not a given how many hoaxes take place every day around the world. Simply getting to this point is pretty interesting when we've got a handful of witnesses who all sign off on the same thing. They clearly believe what they saw. That's where we now find ourselves. It's up to us to now go the distance, see if we can prove that it actually happened.
Yeah. And
well, I say me. This is your fault. This is your problem.
Well, it's not my fault. It's a problem.
It's your problem to solve it.
I've got all the evidence here. Well, the evidence available, because I don't think there were any photographs. Because as I said, a child was being thrown about the room like a boomerang.
Yeah.
So there was no time to take any photos of it. They didn't even have
he had time to write a report, though, didn't
they? Didn't even have sport mode on the camera. The aperture wouldn't even been able to capture the movement of that child.
That's true.
He was like an F1 fighter jet being thrown down the stairs.
He sat down at a typewriter and wrote up all the details.
Afterwards, this was at 7 p.m. They wrote the report, and guess what? It's still going, still going. But yes, look, I know we don't have photographs from the case today that I can whip out on the podcast. But what I do have, along with the copy of the police report, is interview footage with 2 of the police officers that witnessed these paranormal events.
I'm going to need to see an injured boy. I'm going to need to see a boy I need to see him ideally in a hospital bed with every arm and leg in a cast.
The full body
brace.
cast.
Yeah.
All right, check this out.
I was serving as a police officer for the city of St. Catharines and heard other officers who I knew quite well discussing the fact that they'd been sent to a house where they had seen furniture moving without any assistance.
We went there and we're standing in the doorway of the living room. And the mother's over here and my partner, and sitting right across was a priest who looked like he had a white collar, and a nun. And the boy came in, he sat in this chair right beside me. And while I was talking to the mother, this chair just all of a sudden lifted in the air and threw this child across the room. But at the same time, I could see the priest go and the nun go.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
And you know, you just feel a funny feeling come over you when you see this.
Don't laugh. Definitely don't laugh.
He's like reminiscing about it. It's like, yeah. And oh man, the kid ate it.
Yeah.
I mean, they threw him again. I think he went through the drywall. It was so hard. And the priest is doing the motions, you know.
Yeah, we
the
all
father,
we
the
all
son.
thought we were gonna die.
Yeah,
it's
it was
kind of
crazy.
It's actually not funny when I think back.
We were fine in the end. Kid's gone, obviously. He got obliterated the next day. But they dropped a bowling trophy on his head.
Yeah, I guess it's a little funny that the boy started floating through the air, and then instead of trying to, as you say, grab his ankles, yeah, the priest and the nun just are blessing themselves. Sure.
Yeah, that's kind of worrying if you invite a priest over and something paranormal happens and you're like, oh my God, that's crazy. Father, should we? And he's already like made himself a little salt circle on the ground, like just big enough for him. He's got like a crucifix out and they're like, oh, Father, should we get in that? And he's like, yeah, of course. I was just doing mine first and then I was going to do one for everyone else. But yeah, just obviously want to make sure I'm safe and then I can make sure everyone else is safe. Because they'll go for the priest first. Because they know if they go for the priest first, then you guys are exposed. So that's why I actually need more salt than everyone. This is important.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think that like with any job, you know, there's perks of the job. You know, maybe you could get a veterans discount somewhere or, you know, you get free healthcare with some jobs.
Yeah.
I like to think that at least a perk of being a priest is that in a situation like this, you can just kind of get kind of extracted like a military operative.
Right,
you
right.
just kind of, you just straight up into the sky. if kind of shit hits the fan, you know what I mean? The big guy's got your back.
You have a team of bishops or something that like SEAL team, they kind of crash through the windows and escort you out of there. That seems like that could work probably pretty well. Now, all of this might seem crazy, but when you file a police report like this, people do take it seriously. Before long, police officers, photographers, and more were on the scene. Apparently, at one point, the local news caught wind of the events, creating even more chaos. Members of the family couldn't even leave the house without getting badgered by reporters. I guess it's a small town. We've seen what happens in these paranormal cases. Spreads like wildfire, and everyone wants to be the first ones to get a picture of the ghost.
Yeah.
For America's funniest paranormal videos.
And it's hard enough being an 11-year-old boy, you know, trying to fit in, navigate puberty, talk to girls, all these things, without also being possessed.
Yeah.
Or bullied. You know, you're worried enough about being bullied.
Yeah.
For not wearing the right Vans shoes, let alone being bullied by demons.
Yeah. Especially if there's press outside your house taking photos. You know, we've all had that before where like someone takes a bad photo of you and you're like, can you delete that, please? Like, I don't know, it's not like a good side of me. I look gross in it. I don't like it. Imagine the press taking a photo where you are being held upside down and shaken for your lunch money by a demon. Yeah. And your shirt's up, so like your belly and nips are out. That's running on the front page of newspapers.
The demon pantsed you, did that thing where it pulled down your pants, you know, right when everyone's taking photos.
You're so tired and stressed, you just go to sit down and relax, and you are launched like a catapult across the room, pinwheeling across the street. Everyone's taking photos of you. Yeah, it's not going to be great. Not a great way to raise a kid. I read on one website that apparently at one point, a reporter from the National Enquirer attempted to gain access to the house by disguising herself as a nun.
Oh, hey, smart stuff.
That's pretty dark. Because what happens if you just happen to be the only nun in there and paranormal shit starts kicking off? And they're like, oh, don't worry, everyone. Like there's like a swirling vortex of darkness. And it's like, oh my God, we're so lucky that we have a nun here with us. And she's like, oh, yeah. Let me I'll just rattle off a couple of holy words. Bethlehem, little donkey. He was one of the guys, right, at the birth. Well, shouldn't swear, right? Nuns don't do that, and I am a nun.
A quick prayer, sister. Sure. Our Father who fart in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I can't remember.
I was talking to a friend recently who we were talking about the amount of times you didn't realize you were singing the wrong lyrics to a song.
Okay.
And he said he had a friend who, for an embarrassingly long time, thought the quote unquote lyrics to the Lord's Prayer were, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Sure.
I was like, you thought the Lord's name was Harold? And that was part of the prayer?
It's an okay name. Sure.
Yeah. It's like, our Lord, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, of course. Shout out to you, Harold in the sky, the big Harold in the sky. If a nun says that, kick them out. They're working for the other team. They're trying to trick you.
I remember learning what God's name was only by watching Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah, he has like he has a name in certain language, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I
do
think
you remember
it's
what it is?
Yahweh.
Yahweh?
Because isn't that like Harrison Ford is having to like solve these riddles, you know, like when he walks across the
Yes.
invisible bridge and all these things. But I think that was one of the
That's
questions.
that's a cool little secret to whip out.
Yahweh is the most commonly accepted English form of the Tetragrammaton, the 4-letter Hebrew name of God in the Hebrew Bible.
Oh, hell yeah.
YHWH. It's the name that God revealed to Moses in Exodus, meaning, I will be who I will be, or I am.
Oh, that's cool.
While Yahweh is a transliteration, some English translations just use Lord to maintain the Jewish tradition of not pronouncing the name aloud.
Oh, I see. Keep it like Voldemort.
Very much like Voldemort.
Don't
yeah.
say that shit. Yeah, he who shall not be named.
So it is like, you know, I like that Indiana Jones had to do a little pub quiz question to get across the tomb. But a good bit of trivia.
Things got so bad at the house that eventually Bill Weir himself had to threaten the press with incarceration if they didn't back off. And believe it or not, the poltergeist activity did eventually stop. Because the officers strongly believed that the activity was linked to the kid, they advised the family let him leave the house and stay with a relative. Once he did, apparently, the hauntings stopped.
Yeah, can't be too satisfied with that conclusion though. You know what I mean?
Right. Did we really solve this?
Yeah.
Feels like the demon is very much still around.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
as soon as another little boy comes in.
It's kind of like if the place is just lousy with roaches.
Yeah.
And it's like the roaches just love the boy. Let the boy go live somewhere else. and then it's like, oh, there you go. They've gone away. We don't see them anymore. All right, here's the bill, and we're all set. It's like, okay. I still feel like they're just in the walls, though.
Right. I feel like either there's roaches still in the walls or anywhere the boy goes, there will be roaches.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to do about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the age-old poltergeist question, you know, is the boy a demon?
Right. What do you do?
You know, is he still going to be a problem? I don't mean to victim blame here, but he's just going to follow him around. Absolutely.
Yeah. If anything, I think if the haunting stops, you at least know that you should maybe direct your attention towards the child, not the house. So that means, you know, throw the kitchen sink at the kid, which
not literally
might hurt him because he's been thrown at the kitchen sink multiple times. But, you know, try some holy water, baptize him like a second time, maybe 3 times. Because I don't know if you get baptized again, does that undo it?
We need to, if we haven't done this
Is
already.
it like a vasectomy? You can get it undone.
We also, if it hasn't been done yet, need to get him dressed up like a ice hockey goalie. Like just full padded everything.
Yeah. Because he's not long for this world if they keep throwing him around like a rag doll. Yeah, I think that's probably the best move. To be fair, the family refused to comment when people have tried to research this story. I don't even think they know where the kid went in the end. Yeah. Hopefully it wasn't the nightmare realm. And he's still living happily on this earth. Hilariously enough, once the family moved out, the building later became home to Pete's Pizzeria.
Oh.
That's right. The #1 pizza joint on St. Catharines Street, Ontario.
Interesting.
Were the slices haunted? I don't know. All I know is I looked it up on Google Maps and the pizza place isn't there anymore.
Ghost pizza.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened to it. Pete's Pizzeria does sound like a fictional restaurant we would make on this podcast.
Do you think Pete's is spelled P-I-Z?
I think
Pete's Pizzeria.
Yeah, Pete's Pizzeria. It's got real Stevie's DVD vibe. Welcome to Pete's Pizzeria. What? Pete's Pizzeria. Are you stuttering while you're saying the name?
Yeah.
Like Pizzeria. It's like, no, it's Pete's Pizzeria. I can see why they didn't last long. It's like, it's the only slice that can dunk itself in the dip. You open the box and the pieces just float about the living room. As I said, Pete's Pizzeria does no longer exist, and I am very excited to say that as far as I can tell, Kit, right now, the building is on sale for the measly price of 1 million Canadian dollars.
Okay. I'm not an economist, but I think I have less money than that.
Yeah, should I look? I actually don't know the conversion rate for the Canadian dollar currently.
Yeah, I will say paranormal properties that we've seen for sale. I mean, we notoriously looked at a haunted, desolate cowboy village in the Californian desert,
Yeah.
which I think at the time was on sale for the low price of about 400,000 US dollars. Or this one at 1 million Canadian dollars.
This is more. I'll let you know now.
They paranormal locations never as cheap as you want them to be.
Yeah.
You think they're going to be a steal on account of all the misery and deprivation over the years, but actually they hold their market value pretty well.
Yes, especially because I think this is just a still functioning retail unit of multiple floors and many bathrooms and bedrooms. You could do a lot of stuff with this, which is why it is coming in at the price of just over $700,000
US dollars.
US dollars.
Which is
that's a lot.
600,000 pounds or something.
Yes, it's quite a lot of money. So
Okay.
maybe we'll buy the ghost town instead, the desert ghost town. I don't think we can afford Pete's Pizzeria.
I don't know if we can afford the ghost town either, but yeah, okay. But at least we could. Maybe they've still left the pizza oven there. Maybe we could. At least we could make some money off of our investment if we were to create TPL, This Pizza Life.
This paranormal slice.
Whoa!
How about that? This paranormal slice.
Do people want a paranormal slice though?
Every pizza has ghost peppers on it.
Okay.
How about that?
No, I don't know if people can really handle spice.
The crust.
I was really worried you were going to say every pizza has ectoplasm on it.
No, that would be
That's-
gross and weird.
But we do that fun thing where they call it, like every product is called something different. So we say like, oh, you want $2 for a side of ectoplasm? That's what we call ranch
That's the
dressing.
dip. That I like that actually.
Your
That could
aioli,
work.
garlic
Yeah.
mayo.
Yeah. Would you like a little pepperoni on that? And the pepperoni is called like filth.
What?
It's called like, I don't know. I can't think of
Sorry,
anything.
what?
Night.
Huh?
It's called like dirt man.
Why are you talking like that?
It's just because
It's called the pepperoni. It's called Dirt Man.
it's just like weird shit because it's like it's all paranormal themed. So
Yeah.
it's like so if you want like extra cheese, can I get like the 4 cheese pizza?
Yeah.
Every type of cheese will be one of the names of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse
Yeah.
because it's like all 4. Do you want all 4 cheeses?
Yeah.
Pestilence, plague, famine, night, dirt man.
Stop talking like
Get
that.
some.
It's you pitching to the bank manager for a loan. So pestilence is what we call gorgonzola. Plague is mozzarella, of course. He's left the room. You're just talking to a wall. Ugh. Pestilence.
Pestilence. So
Obviously, pestilence would be pesto, by the way. If
Oh,
you're
that's
going to have
actually
basil
pretty good.
pesto, that would
Pesto
be pesto
lens.
lens.
Yeah, I like that. Actually, it's pretty good.
No one's going to buy that pizza. This paranormal
But
slice.
it's delicious pizza. That's the point. Is that it's got weird names, but it is a good pizza.
Yeah. Sorry, the ranch dip would be called Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker
Yes.
Ranch. Yeah, that would be really good.
Okay.
And the corned beef would be like dirt.
Is there evidence?
Be like
Is there
dirt.
evidence for this case?
Night dirt. We'd
Dirt
call
man.
it. We'd call
No,
it.
you can't. If pepperoni is dirt man, you can't. What's night dirt?
It's it's a special kind of soil that is
too
only
close.
you only see at night.
It's too close.
It's
The
so
names
dark.
are too close.
No,
to
it's
each
completely
other.
different.
Too close.
Completely different.
Can I get a slice of the pestilence pie with night dirt and a side of Skinwalker Ranch?
Dirt man.
Dirt man. Mercy.
And we could have some fun gimmick where it's like if the pizzas are all delivered cold.
Why?
Like a corpse. Because it's like, how people say like, oh, if it's delivered, it's delivered all hot, fresh.
coffin pizza boxes, and the pizza, because like Prince Street pizza, it's like square.
Oh,
So
shit.
it's a coffin box.
That's such a good idea.
okay.
And like, so, and instead of being delivered like hot and fresh, ours is delivered old and cold.
It's full of mold. Yeah, I love
Old,
it.
cold, and full of mold with a side of Skinwalker Ranch and extra night dirt. How about that? This paranormal slice. Get your pizza today.
My dirt man just keeps.
Dirt man.
Oh,
I like this a lot. Maybe the delivery car could be like a hearse as well, and the pizza's in the back.
This is all-
Kind
this
of
is-
disrespectful,
this is
but it would clear the
expensive.
roads for you.
this is expensive production. I don't know.
Or like
Does it taste good?
or like
Is the pizza good?
Well, it's delivered old and cold, so you might have to actually cook it yourself. It might be just the raw dough. We could deliver it in like a Ghostbusters style car.
You completely ignored me. Are we done? Like
That'd be
when's,
cool.
when's
We're
the
done.
evidence?
We're really
Really?
done here. The evidence was. Hey, actually, don't ask for the evidence. You got the evidence, and the evidence was good.
A police report. It's fine.
We
Yeah,
got a
it's good.
photograph of a police report, and we got video interview footage of 2 of the police officers that were there on the scene. I would say that is substantially more than the majority of our cases. We have reached
Don't
our
disagree.
conclusion.
Okay, got it.
We have reached our conclusion, and it is not to decide whether or not this paranormal slice is a good business venture. It is to decide whether or not this haunting happened. The haunting on Church Street, the St. Catharines Poltergeist. Kit, what do you think about today's story?
I gotta be honest. I am with it low-key heavy for real.
Yeah, me too.
Because
Surprisingly.
like I know we harp on about how ghost cases, you know, have a high barrier to evidence. That's often why we don't give them yeses. But call me naive, call me a dreamer, call me a bitch. But I want to believe in people,
Yeah.
in humans, in this up universe of ours.
Can we get some motivational music underneath this speech? I think he's really gonna tackle
I was
something
actually
big.
done, but I can keep going. All right.
Yeah, please, yeah. All right, play
You
the
know,
music.
Because we're born. We're pissed out into this world.
Hell yeah.
Out of a friggin' box, am I right, guys? And we don't know what's real. We don't know what's up, what's down, what's left, and what's right.
Yeah, as a baby, I
we,
guess.
we try to do our best.
Yeah, you're getting further. Okay.
We try to do our best, and sometimes we it up. And yeah, did I accelerate into that crowd of people because I was looking at my phone and
Whoa.
I served my time. That's the thing.
Okay. Oh,
I served my time.
Maybe we cut the
And
music
that's
here.
the thing.
This isn't what I thought it was going to be.
People can be good. That's what I learned. I was a bad person,
All
but
right.
I'm good now.
Did you say you accelerated because you were
I
looking at your phone?
thought I had to. There's no point in getting into the details. I thought I was overtaking. Anyway, it was.
I think we can maybe just
It was
keep
a
it
big
on
thing.
let's
I
get
was
back-
sober. I was sober. By the way, the breathalyzer came out clean. So, all right. So check the records. Can you pull up my police records? That would be great because I've never actually talked about this in the podcast. So we can kind of clear my name here and
No,
now.
I don't have access to all the police records.
Really?
I just have this single one.
Don't you have a MacBook Pro?
Yeah, that
wouldn't that
would
be a
mean you
pro
can-
feature?
No,
Pulling
it's
up
not.
police records?
It's absolutely not.
Sorry,
I think
is the
believing in
music still
people-
playing?
Believing, we can turn
Let's
it back on again.
believe in friggin' humans, all right?
There we go.
Because humans are capable of great stuff, all right?
Yeah.
I read that they recently brought back wolves or dire wolves
Gotta stop. You gotta
and
stop.
mammoths and
This
woolly
is-
mammoths. We can achieve anything. And I think if we've learned anything today, it's that the people in this case, they should be believed. Whether it is the little boy, when I never got his name,
Peter. Yeah.
whether it's the rest of his family, whether it's the priest, whether it's the nuns, whether it's Bill, whether it's Bob, whether it's Bill and Ben, the flower pot men, a lot of people saw this. And who am I? Who am I to say that they're all wrong, that they all saw nothing?
Yeah.
I think there could be something here.
That's what I like. Well, I like a lot about this case, but I think this isn't just someone claiming they saw something. It's not even just a couple people claiming that they saw something. It is a whole squadron of policemen. It is priests, it is nuns, it's news reporters, it's the family. By the time Officer Crawford even gets to the place when we started our story, it's already been investigated multiple times. This is a well-known thing. And I think this case is so well documented and so well witnessed by so many different individuals. I'm happy to give this case today a yes.
Whoa, wasn't going to go that far. Only kidding, it's a double yes.
Hey, we got a double yes on a poltergeist case?
Wow.
Holy shit. I
Yeah.
don't even remember the last time that happened.
It's almost as if whenever I host a poltergeist case, it's a laughing stock, and whenever Rory does it, it's a great idea. But
I don't
cool.
know.
No,
Hey,
I'm still psyched though. I'm still really psyched. Yeah,
I think
amazing.
I gave the last ghost case a yes too, and you gave it a no. So maybe I've just been scared straight. Maybe 2025 is the year of Rory believing in ghosts.
Cool. I think you're still yet to give one of my ghost cases a yes, so we'll see if that happens soon.
Well, you got to bring some better evidence to the table, my friend, because
Well, we didn't need any evidence today, as it turns out.
Well, you got
just
police
a guy who
reports.
said something happened, which I personally do believe. But I'm just saying I brought photos to the podcast before, and you've just kind of stuck your nose up at them. But
hey,
let's not fight. Let's not fight because hey, if we're gonna
I'm not
if we're
fighting.
gonna let's not, bro, cool it. All right, dude. All right, take it down a
You're the
couple
one
notches.
that's getting really worked
Hey, because
up.
you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. And if we're gonna be business partners in this paranormal slice.
yeah.
And I do like a lot of your ideas. I think we do have to circle back to some of them though, because they were getting a little bit messy between Dirt Man, Night Dirt. It was a little bit
Were there
messy.
any ideas in particular that you liked? That the pizza's delivered old?
I just
Like
don't.
that's kind of a cool idea.
It sounds like work. You know what I mean? It's almost like aging whiskey. It costs
yeah.
like time and money to age pizza, and it doesn't taste better. So
Well, it's
just make it fresh.
people
Everyone universally likes fresh pizza.
no, but it needs to have like a strong gimmick to it because gimmicks are really in
Coffin's
now.
the gimmick.
It needs to go viral on TikTok.
Yep.
So you need to have like a bunch of. So I think even like we don't even place the
You think
pizza in
Night
the
Dirt's
box.
gonna
we,
go viral?
we slam it in there, so it's like smashed against the wall like a crime scene. When you open up that pizza box, it's destroyed.
Okay, it's almost like that cafe where they're rude
Rude
to you.
to you, yeah.
Right. Our delivery person shows up and they've got a gun. And they're like, they threaten you, they pull apart your house, as if they've got a search warrant. It's a whole like 4D experience.
Yeah. You open up we ring the doorbell, ding dong. Oh, say, pizza here, come out and get your pizza. You open the door and we throw it on the roof of your house like Walter White in Breaking Bad. It's like, hey, you want the pizza? Go get it. Anyway, see you later. Please tip though, because that's the owners, the TPL guys, they don't pay us much.
Hey, we didn't say that.
Anyway, that's probably what they'll say because I'm not gonna tip them much.
Yeah, don't say that.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't say
So
that.
let's get back to the case. Big double yes. Woo!
Woo! We got a double yes. Wow, thank you so much to Tracy Werner for that suggestion over on the Facebook Secret Society. Of course, if you want to submit your own case for us to investigate, I recommend you don't post it on the Facebook group or Reddit or send it into our Instagram DMs. I recommend you email it to us at thisparanormallifepodcast@gmail.com.
Well,
you can
sure,
have-
but you still did get it, didn't you?
I still did get it. You were very lucky, Tracy, and you're very lucky that I could be bothered to go back and give you credit because it's very hard to keep track of these things unless people email it to us with suggestion somewhere or case or idea somewhere so we can find it and give people credit. So email us anything that you want us to investigate. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Look forward to the announcement of this paranormal slice. Maybe, if we're doing any live shows this year, we could start, open up a little pizza stall beforehand.
Yeah. Well,
sell some slices.
I am bankrupt. You were bankrupted last time. We had a business venture. I have a couple CCJs in my name. You can't open a bank account in any developed country anymore. But thankfully, I don't think we've started any half-baked business venture since Phil's joined the company. So I think we put it all in Phil's name. We could open tomorrow.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I don't know if Phil's even had a credit card before. We could
'Cause he's
honestly,
young.
we could max out. We could tank his credit, bro.
He's
We
a
need
clean slate.
to. Yeah, we could.
Yeah. In my defense, I thought my idea was going to be a home run, honestly. Listen to the title, the Gerbil Olympics. Who's not going to want to invest in that?
Yeah.
People want to tune in to watch that. How was I supposed to know that their little hands can't hold shit? All they can really do is run.
Should have done some research. Whatever happened to those gerbils?
Well, many of them drowned because that was the first one, was the triathlon. And the bike and the wheel and stuff, they did really well. But then the water one came and just, some of them never made it to the other side.
They did well at the bike.
Yeah, weirdly well at the bike one.
The wheel isn't an element of the triathlon. I guess it's running.
It's running,
Okay.
idiot. Yeah.
All right, me for not knowing what the Gerbil Olympics is.
Well, you clearly didn't watch the live stream, so you
I don't know
should
if
have known
anyone
how
did.
badly that it went. All right. They staged a coup on day one of the ceremony. I lit the torch and they all panicked, and one of them bit me in the neck, and I was bleeding out on the floor, and they got out the window.
It's not a coup.
and it was all captured on live stream. They made it out of the house in 7 minutes, and the live stream went on for 4 days. Me bleeding out on the floor. Not one single person in the Twitch chat called the police to help. It's actually kind of...
was like, we were gonna SWAT him, but it ended up being unnecessary.
This is the best case scenario. We all get to watch him die in front of us live. Well, until we can open up this paranormal slice or get enough gerbils together to host another Olympics for 2025, could do like a Winter Olympics. That'd be fun.
No.
Put them down a hill
No.
or something. Until then, the best way to support the show is over on Patreon. That is patreon.com/This Paranormal Life. Let me tell you guys, it's the place to be if you want to support this show and you want to get some awesome, cool extra rewards in the process. This is where you do it. There is so much cool stuff that you can get over there, including bonus episodes, extra content, exclusive merchandise, and, of course, the famous shout out at the end of the episode, your own personal shout out, which is what we're going to do right now at the end of this podcast. So thank you to Timothy Rowland.
Timothy Rowland was the mayor of Poland. I know that doesn't make sense because Poland's not a city. But he just declared it. He kind of, Halo 3 Capture the Flag style, just showed up in a custom suit that was made out of the fabric of the Polish flag. Said, I'm the mayor.
Super offensive.
Lasted all of 2 seconds before he was rugby tackled off the kind of Warsaw City Hall kind of... there's a big plinth there, and he was beaten kind of mostly to a pulp.
Yeah.
But for a brief moment, I think that's recorded on Wikipedia somewhere. For a brief moment,
he was the mayor.
You know, you can do that. I don't know if you know that, but kind of like in the Ottoman Empire or something, you can just declare you're running shit.
Yeah.
You can just declare that you're doing that.
Is that what a usurp is?
Maybe.
Yeah. That's a cool word.
Yeah.
Timothy only had one kind of plan in his manifesto, and that was to keep on rolling. Timothy said to keep on rolling with the good times and the bad. We just keep on Timothy rolling.
Yeah. Poland, it's time to keep on rolling.
Yeah, I like it. Timothy, I hope your recovery is swift.
No teeth left, yeah.
He's done. Thank you also to Dan Gallagher.
Dan Gallagher did much the same thing, actually. Now we're thinking about it, but just in the region of Malaga. Malaga. In Spain. That's right, yeah.
How long did they last? How long did Dan last?
Weeks. No one noticed.
Oh,
it was the weirdest thing. He got just bored after a while, to be honest.
Wow.
He kept like yelling it, like, I'm the mayor, guy, and like no one could speak like they all speak Spanish. Like,
yeah, they're kind of partying
they just
as well.
Thought he was weird, yeah.
Having a good time. Well, damn, Dan, if you need an official caterer for the inauguration, this Paranormal Slice would be very interested.
Ooh, okay, our first corporate booking.
How would you like old pizza
They won't want
served foul?
At least Spanish people, of course, love pizza, like every nation.
Yeah.
It's not their specialty. So there might be a gap in the market. Maybe that's what we do. We'll open branches in all the countries that don't eat pizza.
Right, and tell them this is what it tastes like.
Finland.
Yeah, they won't even know.
Democratic Republic of Congo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just random kind of countries that aren't famous for pizza.
You just know we would set up there, and they're like, we have a Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
like Domino's is
true.
a worldwide chain.
Yeah.
Like there's one down the street. And we're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Is that crazy to say? Do you think pizza is overdone at this point? Is that possible? Is that possible?
No, I don't think so. I think there's still
All right,
space for
Plan
us.
B, burritos.
Oh, I like it. This paranormal.
Oh.
I can't think of it. Yeah, I can't think of it. Sorry. We'll come back with another business plan next week. Thank you to Eric Manley. Eric Manley?
Hard to live up to that name, huh?
Holy shit. Dude, you come straight into the commune. You can go straight up to District 5 or 6. Bypass some of those other ones.
Yeah.
Because that implies that you can lift heavy shit, and we really do need a lot of people who can do that. So you will not be treated well, Eric. You will really be put to work almost immediately. But, you're a tough dude. You could take it. Eric Manley.
Yeah. You know what? Why don't you actually just skip right up to, I normally wouldn't say this, but District 4. Because Districts 5 and 6 have been poisoned lately.
Yeah.
There's a poison issue.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just Don't tell that to anyone, by the way. But you just jump through, like, yeah, they're goners, honestly. Whoever's in District 5 and 6 are goners. Yeah, kind of a biohazard. It's a long story. And
It's spreading by the day.
it's the night dirt. It's the manufacture of the night dirt. It's been experimental. There's problems.
It is incredibly addictive.
So-
Once you kind of get a taste of night dirt, it's all your body wants. And it's so nutritionally absent
Yeah.
that you will eat and eat until your body sort of wastes away.
Yeah, it's kind of how, like, 18th century sailors would die of eating rabbit because there's no nutrients in rabbit meat.
Right.
And so you jump right forward to
Bing.
District 4.
Don't eat the dirt on the way because
No.
it's gonna smell good.
But of course, once we figure it all out, you can move back to District 5.
And eat all the dirt you want. Between you and me. Once we're done with you, it'd be great, Eric. And thank you finally today to Maria Martin. Maria Martin, how'd you like to be a Martian? Because I'm working on a little thing called the Gerbil Olympics in 2025.
Pray tell.
Part of that is going to be launching them into space.
Okay.
I want that to be
What's that to do with the Olympics?
I want there to be a zero gravity aspect to it. I don't know what the event's going to be yet, but they're going to need a babysitter. They need someone to look after them. So, Maria, if you're interested,
You couldn't keep control of them on Earth. How are you going to do it in space?
that's why I
So
need
much
them
more
in space.
expensive and
That's why I need them in space, so they can't escape. You know, they'll be in zero gravity. They'll be flying around.
you
all
should be
places. They'll able
banned
to
from
get out of
buying
here.
gerbils.
Probably, yeah. But who's going to stop me?
Maria frees the gerbils.
No,
They
Maria!
bite your throat again.
Maria, let me know if you'd be interested, even in any admin at all in the Gerbil Olympics. There are many roles open. So please let me know. Thank you to Maria. Thank you to everyone who supports us over on Patreon. We really couldn't make this show without you. It's your support. That means we get to create this show every week. And we get to pursue the elusive double yes, which we managed to secure today on the podcast. I kind of can't believe it. Don't remember the last time we gave a double yes to a poltergeist case. But I love it. Just goes to show no suggestion is a bad one. Keep them coming. Email them over to thisparanormallifepodcast@gmail.com. Kit and I have a lot to work on. A lot of business ventures coming up. The Gerbil Olympics and this paranormal slice.
Mm-hmm.
If someone could design us a logo, that would be great. Love to share that online. We'd really appreciate that because obviously we just don't have the capital right now to pay any graphic designers. But we will pay you back in pizza.
Yeah.
How about that?
As long as you're fine with it being old and
that,
cold.
That should be that should be the cool thing we do for the live show. Is like we'll have like the live show, but then before the live show, if you want, you can come to the pizza dinner, and we'll have this paranormal slices that we can offer people as like a little treat.
Interesting.
That's cool. I like that. It's cold and covered in night dirt, but it is delicious. Thank you for listening to the podcast. We will be back next Tuesday. Bye bye. Ciao.